Now, I get a lot of questions on what kind of bike do you ride, especially for XYZ terrain. So I figured I'd hit on that right now. I'm on my favorite bike that I've ridden yet. I'm on a 140 mil frame, 140 millimeter full suspension, so 140 mil suspension in the rear, 150 mil suspension in the front. I'm on the zeroed Tanafa, which, man, if you've ever had a bike that looks like a piece of art, you almost don't want to ride it. This bike falls into that category for me. So again, I've got 140 in the rear, 150 in the front. I've got trail tires, or maybe even downcountry tires, definitely leaning more towards XC versus aggressive side of riding. But I feel pretty confident in my balance and positioning and my traction, my pressure control, pressure management, so I can trust these tires on terrain like this. Many folks might ride something a bit more aggressive, particularly in the front. I've got the Manitou Mezzer up front. Really like the hydraulic bottom out that has to control the suspension towards the end of the travel. Same thing on the rear with that RockShox. That's the Super Deluxe Ultimate. It has hydraulic bottom out on it. Now, the neat thing about this bike, you're already probably wondering, two real neat aspects. This pinion and gate setup. So it's the pinion gearbox 12 speed, 600% range, a little more than SRAM Eagle, but it's all centrally located and sealed. And then gates, this belt drive here, no lubing the chain. Every once in a while I get a squeak in our dry conditions, but that's maybe once every couple of months. Just hose it off with a little water is all you need, and it's good again for a few more months. Virtually maintenance free between the two setups. And then something else you might have noticed, these rainbow colored wheels. These are actually made by Bird. These are the Bird X spoke, so it's Dyneema like climbing rope. Really helps damp or mute the trail feel, so you don't feel as chattery or vibrations. But let's keep this rolling here. Just a quick shout out, thank you to Comba in particular, but all the partners and fundraisers that make trails like this happen. Let's keep rolling. Now, a piece about my bike that I didn't mention when I was stopped at that trailhead just a moment ago is the brakes. I've been pedaling uphill so far, for the most part. Didn't really think about my brakes much, but we're about to go down the sluice, which is that double black, directional downhill bike only trail. And I'll be thinking a lot about my brakes, brake control, how much traction I have while I'm braking, and I can control that through a nice gradual squeeze of the brake lever. And these Magura brakes are incredible in terms of the power they offer. I've got the trail set up, which means I have 4 piston brakes in the front, 2 piston brakes in the rear, really biasing the front end grip and the potential that has to help us control our speed. And then beyond that, these Freedom Coast levers, not only are they a nice ergonomic shape, if I'm honest, I prefer the shape of the carbon Magura levers, but these are nice. What these offer that the Magura levers don't is a bite point adjustment. So both levers, Magura and Freedom Coast, offer reach adjustment, but these Freedom Coast offer a bite adjustment as well. And oh my gosh, does that really dial in, pun intended, it's a dial button, dial adjustment, I guess, really lets you dial in the feel of the brakes, particularly front to rear, so they engage not only where I want them to, which I prefer very little amount of free throw, but also they engage consistently front and rear. So a lot of times the hydraulic brakes, the rear will just feel a little bit mushier, have a little more free throw compared to the front. With these, I can adjust for that and make them feel consistent. This Dragon's Back type of rock ridge, it's like a big old pump track. Oh, it's so fun. And then you've got more options. You can go left for easier line. I'm gonna go right for the harder line. Just get into the fun right away. Something I want you to notice, between the pinion gearbox, the Gates belt, and my Onyx hubs, I've got a totally silent ride experience, which allows me to really focus on the trail, the skills I'm using while I ride the trail, instead of hearing my bike making random noises. I get to hear the traction of the tires and the wind in my ears and not much else, which is an incredible sensation. Here we go.